to Boise because we felt we needed a sabbatical. We'd each been working with Youth of the Mission for a number of years, and we just felt we needed a break and we needed time to look at ourselves, and as Nalanta puts it, sort of go into the garage and like a car going into the garage and getting fixed and having a look in all the parts and making sure that we can go for the long haul and do maintenance and go for the long haul. So we had a couple in Garden Valley who were willing to help us in that, and so we came to Boise all the way from Madagascar, and we had a connection with somebody in Youth of the Mission in Boise, and when we met them, we explained that we still hadn't found an apartment and we needed to move out of the hotel that we were at, and they said, well, the speaker this week is Brandon and he doesn't need a room at the YWAM base, so maybe you could stay in that. So we ended up going and staying in the YWAM base in Boise for 10 days, I think it was, wasn't it? 10 days. And as we were there, they were very, very welcoming, and they said, hey, we're going to go across the street to Discovery Church. Would you like to join us this Sunday? So we said, great, yeah. There were no buses to go anywhere else on a Sunday, so we were, yeah, this is great. So we walked across to Discovery Church with the YWAM DTS and the team, and as soon as we walked in, it just felt like home.
It really wasn't until close to the end of the time that they were in Boise that we began to wonder, what was this about? You know, you sense something all along that God, you know, that there's a connection that the Holy Spirit has made, but you don't really know why. And so it really wasn't until the end that, you know, Narlant pulled Brandon aside and really felt strongly that the Lord had spoken something to him.
Narlant came up to me at church and just said, I believe God's already been speaking to you. And so I'm just going to come out and say it. And I said, oh, okay. He said, I believe you are to come and plant a church in Madagascar. What do you think? Would you and your family be willing to come? And I didn't even hesitate. I just said, yeah, if that's what God has for us, absolutely. We will never say no. We'll always lead with yes, if it's the Lord's will. Mm-hmm. I wasn't nervous. I called Anna and said, this is what Narlant told me. What do you think?
I wasn't ready to head on out to Madagascar the week we were talking about it, but I think little by little, just I didn't have a hard heart towards it, but I think just God prepared me, so which is good because I am a slow processor.
Emotion didn't take over, excitement didn't take over, fear didn't take over. It was just, if that's what you have, God, then we're ready. I was in a meeting that day with Matt and Luke right after I met with Narlant, and I said, hey buddy, something's on my mind. Obviously Narlant just spoke this to me and I want to share it with you. And I shared the dreams first, and then I shared what Narlant had said, and Matt seemed to leap with excitement. He didn't, again, the same thing didn't take over him. Fear didn't take over, or anxiety, and he just seemed, wow, God's speaking the same thing to me. I said, what are you talking about? And he just shared a bit of a dream he had of these fireworks coming out of our church and landing all over the world, and it is as if God was preparing his heart to hear such a thing.
You know, Luke and Brandon and I kind of sat down and had some time to pray and process together, and it was like, wow, Lord, what are you beginning to do here? And so that was where the relationship began to develop. And the hard part was it was like a few weeks before Fiona and Narlant were getting ready to start their long journey home, because they stopped in England and Turkey and several places on the way back. So we really asked them, would you begin to put down what's on your heart? What it is that is the need? What do you see? What is God really saying to you? And so they took the time to do that on their way home, sent those things on, and really we kind of sat on that for months and months and just began to say, Lord, what is it?
Fjärman lite med is I'm just gonna say what airplane is, and I'm gonna say, oh, you say what hello is, I say what goodbye is, and Elliot says what airplane is, okay? Your turn. Hello! We're going to teach you some Malagasy. Hello is Manawana. Goodbye is Veluma. Aeroplane is Yatmanitna.
And our bonus phrase, Jesus is the bread of life, is
Izau Mufunaina.